go. I think we might get it now.
Attention! Go! Come!
Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. It's Junior Men's 8, St Paul's School on the left, Westminster School on the right. You heard them go off explosively. That sound of draw, draw, encouraging the athletes to really lever the boat through. It's a clean start.
It's an absolute electrifying start from both crews, and Westminster have done exactly as I expected. They're trying to get out from St Paul's as early as possible. You could say they've almost got nothing to lose coming up against a crew that's stronger than them.
Great start by Westminster, isn't it? Absolutely, stroke for stroke, man for man, puddle for puddle as we come alongside in our catamaran. Westminster are really going for this as we thought they might.
And credit to their coach as well for preparing them in a way. He's only taken over this season from Josh Butler, under who he worked for 5 of the previous seasons.
Yeah, so Matt Harris working with this crew, and you can see the focus, the determination. Look at that. Every face straight down the boat, looking really clear, calm, determined and powerful. It looks like St Paul's may have edged out by a seat or two at this point, but they're still in contact.
You're absolutely right there, Matt. And I'm actually looking at the Westminster crew. I can see a lot of focus, concentration.
Yeah, exactly. Concentration, but concentration too here in the St Paul's School crew. We know that style. They love to row in their system there, which is super loose. You can see, even if you're not a rower, see how loose those shoulders are. Cox glances across there. That's Victor Bouquet in the Cox's seat for St Paul's, just checking on the distance, and they really have started to walk now. Absolutely.
As we've mentioned before, Bobby Toucher has got such a clear way that he likes his crews to row, and you can see that here. It's a beautiful, nice, long, punchy, dynamic rhythm. Very clean on the blades, working as much together as they possibly can. And actually, it's an incredibly strong crew too, with a 6:13 erg average.
Really strong crew. Here we are with Westminster School riding at the critical moment of the race for them now, Pete. They've got to hold on to St Paul's School, because St Paul's will be looking to break contact, to break away as they did yesterday, and to dominate the race. So it is crunch time now for the young men of Westminster.
You could almost say it's now or never. So if you were the Westminster crew, would you push up your finish sprint?
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely, I used to call it kitchen sink time. We'd say death or glory. That was the call from the Cox in my day, and we really had to commit, and that's what they'll be doing now. There's no time like the present for Westminster. Meanwhile, St Paul's School are walking. Every stroke you can just see them gaining 5-10 centimetres every single stroke.
The confidence in that crew is just astonishing, and they're sticking to their race plan beautifully. Like, great steering from their Cox as well, keeping quite close to the booms, but making sure they have the best possible track to race down on.
Yeah, Pete, you're absolutely right. Nice to call that. And, you know, it's quite tricky, this middle part of the course. You can see, if you're watching from home, wherever you are, that it widens out. You get a little bit more crosswind there, and it can move the crews around. Westminster retaining their composure, really sort of had to attack it very hard. And now, well, how would you cope with this? If you are at this moment, you've seen the opposition disappear from the corner of your eye. So Westminster really have to combine again and attack again, even though they can't see St Paul's now.
I think it's difficult to be in Westminster's shoes right now. Once a crew ahead of you has broken clear and you just can't quite see them in the back of your visual, it's difficult to come back, especially at the junior level.
Also, I guess, you know, however much they believed in their ability to win here, they know the form of the season is against them. We also know, I think the intel from St Paul's camp is that they are on the rise. They're getting better and faster even than they were at the national schools a little while ago. So for Westminster, there's probably a bit of confirmation in there, in their secret, you know, thoughts that this might well be the result. So very hard to come back from that. Meanwhile, let's just look at this St Paul's School crew. Tell us what you like about the sort of the technique here, Pete.
I really like the togetherness. Bobby Toucher has taught them exactly how he wants them to row. It's a smooth, dynamic rhythm. The legs are firing right off the catch, and they're keeping the length of the stroke, which is really important, because there's 3 ways that you can move the boat fast. It's the rhythm, the rate, and the power.
Right, so let's talk about rhythm. What does that mean?
You have to get away from the water clean towards the end of the stroke, so that means your blade has to exit in a clean way. Then you have to prepare yourselves for the next stroke, and as soon as you put the spoon in the water, you have to dynamically engage with the legs.
Right, so it's about how you kind of the ratio really between the sort of time out of the water and the time in, and how you drive it. So we can see Westminster now, a bit of a contrast. You know, they're down, they put a lot of extra work in early on to try and stay on terms. Can you see a difference in the style here?
I think there's probably a little bit less connectivity between those team members. You can see the boat just wobbling ever so slightly left to right. Obviously, this may be unfair to say because these athletes are working incredibly hard and they're giving their all. And sometimes it's hard to maintain composure when you're going hell for leather.
Yeah, Westminster School really determined, and they are top-class School 8 as well. Really very well drilled, very well trained, as you say, under Matt Harris, the new coach there, who's just taken over. And as we look down towards the finish line, you can see we've got, well, maybe 400 or 500 metres to go, so it's a tall order for Westminster School. Tom Lewis-Ward, Oliver Buxo-Kopp, Florian Offner, Alex Taylor, Patrick Garman, Paddy Garman in the 5 seat, Tim Gutsev, Brian Chen and Mikey Tsitsikakis in stroke seat. That's Westminster Cox by Eima Miyasaka. And, well, today it's the last day of their Henley campaign, it looks like, with St Paul's School really with their eyes on the prize. St Paul's have won so many times in recent years in the Princess Elizabeth, haven't they? So expectations are high. Except
last year, which is why they will be on a mission to overturn that result. And you can just see that grit and determination in that St Paul's crew to deliver the trophy at the weekend.
And also, you're absolutely right, St Edward's won last year, but this event has changed as well. There's been a rule change which allows clubs to compete more, so the competitive intensity's gone up. We've got, this is a record Henley, record entries from international clubs as well as British clubs, so there's always that uncertainty factor. There are a number of other unknown quantities really, top crews from New Zealand and the US that St Paul's will have to confront, so they'll be happy with this performance, I think, as they come to the final couple of hundred metres.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man. There are over 200 international crews competing, over 700 entries from 27 countries. Credit to Henley for being more inclusive and also allowing club crews to compete at this level.
So here comes the finish line under the watchful eyes of the tower of Henley Church. St Paul's School, Benjamin Atkinson, Christian Rees, Felix Peerless, Alex Wilde, Alka Karadogan, Patrick Wilde, Theodore Kynan, Talek Botos and Philip Wolfensberger under the careful steering of Victor Bouquet across the line, ready to fight another day in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. Since 1946, lots of young British talented athletes have competed to put their name on that cup, and that's a win for St Paul's School, as we probably expected, over a valiant competition with Westminster School, who rose to the occasion but couldn't quite make it.